Good evening, dear students. Is my voice clear in your side, dear students? Okay. But before we start about our meeting topics today, we will discuss about our previous research, previous meeting about you have a summary of research, and the title is um, about halo effects. How how does the corporate social responsibility engagements influence word of mouth on the Twitter? Evidence from airline industry. Actually, this is the implications or applications of the halo effect theory in the explaining of the corporate social responsibility engagements. And I have. Okay, I'm sorry that my signal is not good. We will first discuss about our research paper about the halo effect applications in the corporate social responsibility. This is, I think, okay, this is I think the good summary of yours, Mr. or Miss Logeswaran. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
This is your summary. I have been downloaded from the Google Classroom, and I think this is very good summary. Would you mind to present it?
Okay, ma'am. How does the corporate social responsibility engagement influence our mouth on Twitter? Evidence from the airline industry. Introduction. Companies engage in corporate social responsibility for various reasons. One important reason is to promote the word of mouth. Previous studies have been explaining the effects of a company's CSR engagement on WOM, but these studies are limited to WOM through offline channels. By the passing of information from person to person, the overall communication. With the increasing importance of social media, the internet has become a popular channel for influence between the people. In addition, customers seek online WM to make their purchase decisions. A great deal of research concludes the online WM is more influential than the offline WM. To address this gap, our study aims to examine how CSR engagement affects online WM, particularly when there is a service delay. We focus on Twitter to examine this relationship. Objectives to examine how customers perceive and communicate about companies' engagement in CSR. This paper especially examines whether customers provide more PWM and less negative WM and tweeted for the companies with the CSR engagement. To explain the effect of the CSR engagement on PWM and NWM on Twitter during the service release. Literature review, customers as a key stakeholder group. Media research has explained the influence of CSR engagement on a wide variety of stakeholders. One important stakeholder in a company is its customers. In the conference at the Harvard Business School, a member of Wall Street Journal Chief Executive Officer Council Martin Powell stated that companies should talk less about the CSR benefits to the shareholders of short-term profits and focus on consumer needs, investment in labor, and sustainability. One focus of speech is to explain the how CSR engagement influences customers. Hello, ma'am.
Okay, have you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think very good summary. The summary is complete from the introductions, objective, literature review, methods, and also the results. And Mr. Logeswaran, would you mind to give an opinions about this paper or about this halo effect theory?
Ma'am, halo effect theory is the companies to engage in the CSRs to promote the positive word of mouth. And this paper has conducted a survey to the Twitters how the word of mouth will used to create a positive image amongst the customers. That's all. They use
Okay.
the objectives to explain the positive and negative word of mouth.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Logeswaran. I think this
Thank
is
you.
very good summary, and I'm really enjoyed to read your summary. Okay, thank you. And the other students, maybe one of you want to present our research paper for our summary for our last meetings. Is there anyone to present? Okay, no? Okay, if not, I will to continue about our material today. We will discuss about the compensations contracts. Yes, actually, I have one paper also to related to the compensation contract. But before we discuss about this paper, we will discuss a review first about the material in related to compensation contract. The definition of compensation is a reward from the owner of the company or principals to the managers or agents in a hope that the managers or agents can fulfill the company's goals. Compensation can also be seen as human resource management strategy to create work harmony between staff and the company leaders in achieving the goals that have been set. And the compensation contract are based on one or more measures of the manager performance on the effort in running the company, such as the earnings, accounting earnings, or share price, etc. And there are the conflicting idea about is the executive contract is necessary. There are different opinions about the importance of the executive contract. Some researchers support that the need of the compensation contract, and the other researchers argue that compensation contract are not important. And we will discuss about the arguments of the two both of the opinions. Some researchers, some experts argue that compensation contract are not required because they argue that, for example, Pharma et al. At 1980 state that compensation contracts are unnecessary because the managerial labor market can control the moral hazard of agents. If the manager can build his reputations by increasing the value of the company and the owners of the company, then the value of the manager in the labor market will increase. Conversely, if the manager neglects his duties, there have been reducing the value of the company and the owner or principal welfare, then the manager will experience a decrease in the value of the labor market. So according to Pharma et al., they said that there is no required compensation contract because the labor market is efficient. So if the manager decrease of the reducing the value of the company and the owners of welfare, and then the manager will experience decrease in the value in the labor market. So Pharma also argue that a lower level manager, the negligence will be detected and reported from the upper managers because they want to get promoted. It is internal monitoring that operates to discipline the managers. And the other opinion that say that the compensation contract will be required. Some researchers argue that compensation contracts are important because the labor market is not efficient. Sometimes in some countries, the labor market is not efficient, so the manager reputation is judged. Also, the manager performance is judged based on a past performance, and this is not guarantee for assessing the manager performance in the future. So the main reason are there is asymmetry information in the difference between information that held by manager and the prospective user of the manager services. The problem of asymmetry information will lead to adverse selections on the wrong choice. This is because the manager can hide, delay, or bias or manipulate publications of relevant information. So according to these opinions, the compensation contract is required because the labor market is not efficient. So if the labor market is not efficient, we cannot determine which the manager has a good quality and which one the bad quality, because there is asymmetric information and asymmetric informations in labor market. So the comments according to these opinions, compensation contract are still required. This opinion supported by Arya et al. 97 that conducted a study with a two-period model design with one owner and two risk averse managers. In this study, in Arya studies, owner cannot observe the manager effort, but individual managers can monitor each other actions. Arya suggests that owners can overrun the efficient compensation contract by exploiting each manager's ability to oversee the effort of the managers. Because of the compensation that will be obtained when the manager is a joint effort or a joint work of the two managers, negligence by one of the manager will reduce the compensation of both. The compensation contract based on joint effort will encourage the manager to monitor each other actions to reduce the agency cost from the moral hazard. So Arya et al. Model suggests that incentive contract for lower level manager are still needed. And also support the opinion that compensation contract is needed is Wolfson 1985 that support the nations that the labor market is unable to control the manager negligence. Wolfson 85 argued that although the market pressure can reduce the moral hazard problems, they cannot eliminate them. So it can be concluded that although the market force help to control the managers, the tendency to negligence, they cannot eliminate them. So a compensation contract is needed. So based on these arguments, that there are two conflicting opinion about the importance of compensation contract. The one opinion is compensation contract is not needed because there is a labor market. Because they assumes that labor market is efficient, and the second opinion is compensation contract is still needed because the labor market is not efficient. So there are asymmetry information, and so we can judge who is the manager which high quality and low quality. So and there are two in general, there are some kinds of performance measurements. The performance measurements are used to determine the performance of manager and the compensation they will receive. Some of the performance measurement include the profit, accounting profit, and also some previous study found that the high correlations between earning and manager effort indicate that more efficient compensation contract, so the agency cost will decrease. And the high quality earnings will increase the efficiency of the contracts. So the common use earnings in performance measurements, because the high correlation between earnings and manager effort indicate that the more efficient compensation contracts, so the agency cost will be decreased. There are some reasons that net income, why we use net income in compensation contract. For example, net income can encourage manager to carry out the expected activities. This is not possible if the compensation is only based on a share price or stock price. For example, when a company wants to encourage manager to carry out more research and development activity, the owner of the company will reduce the proportion of manager compensation based on net income and increasing the proportion on the basic compensation for share price. And based on the result, an increase in FD cost will be responded positively by investor, so that manager will be more interested in increasing research and development costs, because their compensation will increase. So sometimes based only on the net income only for performance measurements can have negative effect on the manager effort. Because, for example, if the company wants to develop new product, new innovation products, so they conduct a highly cost of research and development, and then the high portions of research and development costs will decrease the net income. So if the compensation contract is based only on the net income, so it will be reduce the manager's performance, because they do more innovations, but they receive less compensation. So the mix between net income and share income sometimes have a good positive impacts. For example, in activity of R&D, because in R&D, the R&D cost will respond positively by investors. So the higher R&D cost, the higher of share price. So that the manager will interested in increasing R&D, because their compensation also will be increased. And net income also reflect the performance of manager compared to stock price. However, profit earnings based compensation also have weaknesses, because there are earnings manipulations. Earnings manipulations that manager can display or report the earnings based on the judgment. For example, the different methods that they choose subjectively will impact on earnings. For example, if we choose the depreciation method, LIFO, last in first out versus FIFO, first in first out, they will impact on the higher or lower reported earnings. So earnings actually can be manipulated. And so that if we only use earnings as the basis for compensations, will have a tendency, the manager will have tendency to manipulate earnings to increase their utility. For example, they will choose the earnings methods, accounting methods that will increasing the earning. So this is the dangers that if we only reported use accounting earnings as performance measurements. So in earnings, stock price can be used to measure performance managers in combined with earnings. And the second of the performance measurements is stock price. For example, we can use the stock options or call options, and in the stock option scheme, that the manager will get a reward if the stock price is rise. This drives the manager's performance, because if we can increasing the value of the firms, they will get the reward of the as the compensations. And the question is, why not only that manager compensation solely on the stock price? There are some reasons that we cannot use only the stock price as performance measurements, because stock price not only reflect the performance of manager, but also the influence by the more general factor, for example, economic conditions such as interest rate change, exchange rate, and trade agreement. And these conditions are risky because beyond the risk inherent in production process. And the second is okay, and the second is there are a noise radar. Noise radar is, as you know, that I believe that you in MBA also have a knowledge about the noise traders, who is investor who make decision about buying and selling share without using fundamental data. So, for example, in our previous discussion about herding behavior, this is the type of investor that buying or share or sell the price based on the other experience. So not based on the fundamental data. So this is the noise trader. So if we solely use the stock price as the compensation plan, so they will be not accurate to reflect the manager performance. And also, investors generally have limited knowledge and information, only follow trends and overreact to good and bad news. And this makes the stock price do not accurately reflect the information in the public. So the use of stock price as the performance measurement imposes the excessive risk on the manager. So this is the reasons why we cannot use only the stock price for the performance measurement. And the third reason is net profit is relatively insensitive to the economic factor and noise trading. So including stock price and net income in the compensation contract is much more efficient than just stock price. Okay, and the other measurements, maybe we can use a balance scorecard. The balance scorecard concept is based on measuring financial and non-financial performance, thereby providing a more comprehensive assessment. As we know that balance scorecard introduced by Kaplan and Norton in 1996. And balance scorecard measurement include 4 perspectives. As we know that there are financial perspective, internal business process, learning and growth, and customer satisfaction. And there are so many types of contract. For example, compensation contract, as we know that very important because they can increasing or decreasing the performance of manager and also the motivations. There are several compensation programs. For example, bonus. Bonus is the provisions of the additional income for someone who has met certain performance of requirement. And the second is, and according to John Luke, 94, in his research entitled Bonus and Penalty Incentive Contract Choice by Employees, said that individual prefer bonus compensation scheme compared to clawback or fines because the non-monetary factor can increase the attractiveness of a job or compensation contract. And someone considers several aspects, both monetary and non-monetary aspect in choosing job or contract. And individual will consider non-monetary aspects such as geographic environment, level of autonomy, work environment, and so on. Bonus and fine are seen as non-monetary aspect that company use to express support or punishment employee performance. And Cube et al. 2012 found that workers who were given. Non-monetary compensation scheme has increased to 20% increase in performance, while the monetary compensations has no effect on performance. Okay. And also individual prefer bonus because based on prospect theory that we just learned in our previous meeting, that's found by Kahneman and Tversky, individual will feel that loss more painful than the pleasure of receiving the bonus for the same amount of money. So individual do not like fines or fines because they are more painful. So this is why that individual prefer bonus rather than fines in increasing their performance. And the third, framing influence individual in decision making. For example, the word bonus is seen as positive framing, while fines are seen as negative framing. So when you hear about the bonus, someone tends to choose it as compensation that is not that detrimental to employee. Okay. And this is the example. Actually, some participants have to choose between the contract E also the contract B. The contract E is you will get the basic salary 10,000 millions and 5 millions bonus if you reach the target. And contract B, if you will get the basic salary 15 millions and the fine of 5 million if the target is not reached. So if the participant asks to choose between contract E and the contract B, the majority of individual will prefer to contract E, often the contract B, even though that both of contract A and B is the same. It's the same amount that you will get. Okay. If the target is met, the individual will receive 15 millions, whereas if the target is not achieved, they will receive 10 millions in both contract E and also the B. So, but in this compensation scheme, between compensation scheme A and also compensation scheme B, I think this is the example of framing effect, right? This is the compensation scheme E, and this is the compensation scheme B. Most of participants will choose the E rather than B because the E is in positive framing. Because the word bonus, the bonus will be more good to hear for employee rather than the fines. Okay. Actually, this both of the compensation contract will be result in the same of result. For example, if the target is met, individual will receive 15 millions, whereas that if the target is not met, they will receive 10. So this is the same between contract A and contract B. Elisa and Frederick 2013 said that there is an effect of the bonus compensation scheme on performance. Compensation in the form of the bonus increasing employee performance. In Elisa study, risk preference was added as moderating variable, whether it can strengthen or weaken the effect of bonus compensation scheme on performance. Okay. Is there any questions, students, before we continue in other schemes?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And okay, thank you. A contract with a bonus scheme will show the certainty of the salary that will obtained by individual. If an employee can complete his or her task and even exceed the target, he will be given the bonus. But if he cannot reach the target, the employee will still receive the basic salary. This is called certainty of salary received by employee. And the third is clawback. Okay, before we discuss about the clawbacks, I will show you about this type of video about the explanation about the clawbacks. Actually, clawback is used from the Sarbanes-Oxley 2002. So is provisions passed by the United States government to protect the investor from the accounting fraud by company. Clawback is an act of taking back the bonus of money or other incentive that have been received by the manager if it later found that the profit used to determine compensations or incentive are the result of manipulations or financial statement manipulations or frauds. In the clawback contracts, bonus are given if the performance is achieved, but clawback is set if there are in the future events such as fraud, misstatement of financial statement, or profit manipulation are detected. So the clawback actually is fine schemes that if the manager A have 10 millions, for example, from the salary or bonus, but if in the future, maybe 1 year later or 2 years later, they are detected that he or she conduct the fraud, misstatement of financial statement, then the bonus that have been received by the manager should be taking back to the company or to the government. So this is the mechanism of clawbacks. Before we continue about the clawback, I will show you about the explanations in the video forms about the clawback, compensation of clawback.
CEO's pay is based on the financial performance of a company. Wouldn't you expect that the company's numbers, their financial statements, to be accurate? Today's economy, corporate executives often are paid based on how the companies they lead perform. Things like revenues, profits of the business that you're investing in. But what happens if the numbers the companies use to calculate such incentive-based compensation aren't accurate? In some cases, companies may have to go back and revise or restate prior financial reporting. As a result, an executive may have been paid for hitting certain milestones that the company actually didn't hit. Well, about 11 years ago, Congress decided this didn't make sense. Congress took this up as part of the many reforms after the financial crisis embedded in what was called the Dodd-Frank Act. Congress said this: if a company has to revise its financial statements, executives should have to give back any of that incentive-based pay that they didn't really earn. This is called a clawback. It makes sense that executives shouldn't benefit from incorrect numbers. Congress then tasked those of us at the Securities and Exchange Commission with implementing a rule, a clawbacks rule. Today, we issued a proposal to move forward with this work. It is now out for public comment. So please go to sec.gov and let executives to you believe implementing a clawback rule will strengthen the transparency and quality of corporate financial statements, but also the accountability of corporate executives to you, the investing public. Whether the numbers were faulty due to fraud or simple mistakes, I think this clawback rule would give executives an even stronger incentive to check their company's numbers. That's good for investors.
Okay, there is the explanations about what is the clawback is. Uh, we can see that if a company has to revise the financial statement because of misstatement or earning manipulation or maybe frauds, so the manager should be back the money or the bonus that have been received to the government or to the company. Actually, the clawback is initiated in US, but no, actually some country also implement this compensations mechanism because the clawback based on the previous receipt can increasing the company earnings quality, because managers should make sure that the earnings income is well prepared. So there are no earnings manipulation in that company. There's so many research in this clawback area. For example, actually I with my colleague in Universitas Gadjah Mada also have been published our research paper about the clawbacks, and I have been shared this paper in your Google Classroom, but you don't need to make a summary because this is our last meeting in this semester. So our paper is about the religiosity and clawback provisions in curbing earnings management. The author is me, Ratna Chandrasari, and also my research, my lecture actually, Prof. Mahfud Solihin. We succeed in published in the Q1 Scopus Journal. The title is Journal of Management, Spirituality, and Religions. We will discuss this paper later, and we will back to our material today. Yes, this is the clawbacks. There are so many researcher has been explore about the effectiveness the clawback. For example, Gis and Nitan 2011, and the study entitled Axis of Pay Clawback. The definition of clawback is money that must be returned by individual to the company as a result of decreasing performance, or for example, not meeting the expected target. And clawback is one form of punishment. And contract system with clawback creates an endowment effect. The endowment effect is someone overvaluing something after it's theirs. So if individual will feel painful when they lose something that they already have. So this is like a clawback that actually manager have received the compensation, and then in the future they should back the compensation that they already received. It will be more painful according to the endowment effects. So in this case, that the bonus that have been received in the past will be overvalued in the present, so that someone is reluctant to sacrifice the bonus they have received. And the endowment effect implies that the utility, satisfaction, or happiness of receiving the bonus is smaller than the sadness or painful of giving up the bonus that have been received before. So that individual who wants to maintain the bonus must have good performance and good quality of earnings, reported earning, as indicated by achieving the target desired by the company. Also, the other researcher is Alisa Fredericks, 2030, found that a contract system with scheme of contracting clawback will put more pressures on an individual, so that they will will work hard to maintain the bonus. And the other register, for example, Lin et al. 2004 said that punishment compensation scheme affect the performance because the greater of the punishment, the employee performance will increase. Employee will motivated to work well and hard to avoiding the punishment. And so the other bonus, the other scheme of compensation is combinations between bonus and punishment. In the compensation scheme of the combination bonus and punishment, the manager will receive a penalty if he does not reach the set of target. Otherwise, the manager will get a bonus if he doesn't reach the target. And based on the research by Alisa and Frederick 2030, individual prefer compensation scheme that combine bonus and fines compared to compensation scheme that only contain a punishment. So bonus and penalty compensation scheme affect the performance. Bonus manager are motivated to increasing their bonus by achieving company target and improving their performance to avoiding punishment or penalty. So based on this their research that managers will tend to do their best, avoid the punishment and earn a bonus. And no, we will discuss more little about the our paper about the clawback. Actually, in this paper, I examined how religiosity and clawback provisions can curb the earnings management. This study examined the impact of religiosity and the clawback on corporate reporting behavior. Because previous research indicate that the supervisions and punishment aspect of God or secular authorities are able to improve the human prosocial actions. This present study examined whether the clawback that have the punishment feature moderate the effect of religiosity on the intention to manipulate earnings. This study used experimental design. We used 266 participants who are the personnel from finance department. And our research suggests that the main effect of religiosity has no significant effect on reductions of the accrual manipulations. However, the interactions of religiosity and clawback has a significant effect. So the religiosity itself cannot decrease the earnings manipulations, but if the joint effect between the religiosity and clawback has significant effect in reducing the increasing to earnings manipulation or to conduct the frauds. Okay. Okay. Is there any questions, students? Maybe we can. If not, is there any questions? Okay. No? Okay. If not, I will continue maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes about this paper. Actually, this paper is published in Scopus Q1, Journal of Management, Spirituality and Religions. And this is the long journey of our paper. Actually, this paper have been rejected in Q2 Scopus Index Journal, and then we revise it, and then we submit it to the Q1 Scopus Index Journal with the minor revisions. We take twice revisions in these journals, and we should read additional 30 papers to revise this journal. Actually, this paper contain we from the finance, but we should read papers in psychology, because this combine between finance and psychology, as we call it, behavioral accounting. And this is why that we concerned about the this is why we interested to read to write this paper, because there are so many scandals, earnings manipulation scandals in our country. For example, this is the state-owned enterprise Garuda, state-owned enterprise Jiwasraya. The CEO has been manipulated the earnings. So this is our concern. Why they do the earning manipulation, since they have a higher, maybe higher level of religiosity. So we examine that the effectiveness of clawback, if it implemented in developing countries such as Indonesia. Chen et al. Define the clawback is the provisions that authorize the board of directors to record the compensation paid to the manager based on the manager misstate of financial report. And this is some initiative of compensation clawback. Actually, this initiative from Sarbanes-Oxley Act in US. And this is our research model that religiosity affect the earning management intentions and clawback as moderating variable. So the clawback can stronger the relationship between religiosity and earning management, or weaken the relationship between religiosity and earning management. The theory that we use is supernatural punishment hypothesis. The supernatural punishment hypothesis state that if we observe by God or supervise, every human action is able to punish every violation, thus encouraging everyone to remain obedient. We use theory from maybe philosophy or psychological science that state that we use supernatural hypothesis, punishment hypothesis, and also supernatural monitoring hypothesis that assume that being supervised by supernatural agents or God is the same as being supervised by secular authorities such as judge, police, and etc. So the clawback has the punishment aspect. So we use theory supernatural monitoring hypothesis that supervised by God is the same supervised by secular authority that have punishment authority. And earning management, the variable dependent that we use is earning management. In an earnings management refer to the use of personal judgment in reporting and in structuring the transactions to alter the financial report to either mislead some stockholder about the underlying economic performance of the company, or to influence contract outcome that depend on reporting accounting number. So actually, earning management is not ethical behavior, because they use personal judgment to benefit their interests. Earning management is using personal judgment in reporting of financial statement to either mislead the stockholder about the underlying economic performance of the company, or to influence contractual outcome that depend on reporting accounting number. Okay. Now this is our hypothesis, that we hypothesize that religiosity has negative influence on intention to perform manipulations. Also, religiosity. Why we put moderating effect? Because there are so many argument that if we have if we seen for example, Yilmaz in 2016 found empirical evidence that I'm sorry that I should. Okay. Now, why we choose clawback as moderating effects? Because as Yilmaz said that they found empirical evidence that religions is associated with increasing prosocial behavior only if there are aspect of punishment of both of God or and by institutions. And religions is also associated with increasing of prosocial actions only if there are aspect of punishment by God. So we use experimental design, and this is our model that we use participant as the financial controller, and they give proposal, and they should select proposal that's more suitable with these situations. And we invite the auditor in this experiment to assess the participant answer or choice, and we can conclude that their intention to manipulate earnings. This is the result that in model 1, for example, religiosity, and then in all model, religiosity do not have significant effect on decreasing earnings manipulations, but they if they interacted by clawback, they have significant effect in decreasing the earnings manipulations. This is our hypothesis, and the conclusions of our study, we did not provide evidence that the main significant effect of religiosity on the intention of manipulating earnings, and religiosity become an effective mechanism for monitoring corporate reporting behavior only if there is a punishment aspect or clawback. And in our secular modern era, punishment play an important role in cooperative behavior. This reinforced empirical evidence that the aspect of effective punishment increase the prosocial behavior. Okay, this is the conclusions of our research paper about the effectiveness of the clawback. Okay, dear student, is there any question that should that you is there any questions or maybe discussions about this topic, about this clawbacks? Is in India also implemented clawbacks? Okay, is there any questions or comments or opinions? Is there any questions? No?
No, ma'am. No doubts, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you, Miss Akila. If there are no questions, that maybe we can end this meeting. But before, would you mind to open your mic or open your camera for me? I can screenshot and I can know you. Maybe if you are not mind, you can open your mic and then I will screenshot these screens. May I? Would you mind?
So, dear students, ma'am, dear student, Professor Madam is asked for giving your valuable feedback about the class. Though it is a final class, maybe one or two may
Yes.
share your feelings, please.
Yes.
Maybe one or two students may share your feelings.
Okay, nobody is okay.
Indradevan, Ridis, maybe somebody from first year, Dharmesh. Can anybody, Kamali?
Ma'am, yes.
Yeah, please share your some
Ma'am,
fruitful thought. Yeah.
the last 8 sessions are so good, ma'am. We learn a lot of concepts from behavioral accounting and how people's behavior that affects their purchasing. Like that, we learn a new concepts, ma'am. And you explain some of the concepts which we really don't know. You explain it very clearly, ma'am. So the session was so useful for us, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dermes. Thank you. Is anything anyone else? Miss K, maybe? Miss K?
I think she is not joined today.
Oh, she's not joined today. Okay.
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 Okay. I see have some other work, probably. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yes,
Right.
it's okay.
Maybe some second year students for representing second year students.
Ma'am,
Any
good
second
evening,
year
ma'am.
students?
Good evening, Miss Akila.
Ma'am, actually, we had a great session, ma'am. We gained lot of information and knowledge through your presentation, and we also get some knowledge about different perspectives, ma'am. Your way of teaching is so nice, ma'am. Thank you for the great session, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Akila. Thank you so much. Okay, if there are no okay, Prof, can
Hi,
you
ma'am.
yes?
Good evening, ma'am.
evening.
I'm Kongu, ma'am.
Yes.
The sections are really good, ma'am, and your examples are really good to understand the concepts of the behavioral accounting, ma'am. Thank you very much for your teaching, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? Okay, okay, Prof. Kartikan, can we end these meetings?
Yes, pro. Yes, pro.
Okay, yes.
So
Okay,
at the outset, on behalf of me and my own department and the principal and management of our institution, I wholeheartedly thank you for offer a course on behavioral accounting for our PG program MBA students. We have an intake of 120, 120 for 2 sections. Almost 120 students have registered, and 75 students, nearly 75 students have participated in all the sessions. It was quite interesting, and the students have learned a lot in terms of behavioral accounting course. So this course is we are not offered in our curriculum. Probably we also think that we can offer this course for forthcoming years in collaboration with UNY and Kongu Engineering College. Thank you very much, ma'am, for readily accepting our invitation and be part of our visiting professor program. And we wish you a very happy new year and for your research, teaching, and your personal career, ma'am. Thank you very much.
okay, thank you very much, Prof. Kartikeyan. Also, dear students, that I'm so sorry if I have many mistakes in presenting the materials, and also Happy New Year. Thank you very
Thank you, ma'am.
much.
Happy New Year, ma'am.
Bye. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
will.
ma'am.
Yes, I will
Happy
end
New
this.
Year, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Happy
ma'am.
New Year.
Bye, ma'am. Happy New Year.
Bye. Bye. Happy
Bye,
New Year.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I will end this
Happy
meeting.
New
Thank
Year,
you
ma'am.
very much. Yes, thank you.